Hari Om all. Let's begin. Sprinkle water on yourselves and around you. Om Pavitraha Pavitro Va Sarvavastham Gatopi Va Yahasmare Pundarikaksha Sabhahyabhyantaraha Suchi. Sip water from the palm of your right hand 3 times as I recite. Om Keshivaya Namaha. Om Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Now rinse your hands. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. Now put on a kus ring on the ring finger of the right hand. You have a kus ring. Om Pavitre Stho Vaishnavyo Saviturvaha Prasva Utpunam Yakshidugena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmabhihi Tasyate Pavitrapate Pavitra Putasya Yat Kamaha Pune Tachakeyam. Now using thumb of your right hand, apply a chandan tika on your forehead. Om Chandanam Bandhate Nityam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadam Harite Nityam Lakshmir Vasati Sarvada. Now light the chirag that you have in your home, if it is not lit already. Om Bodhipatvam Brahma Rupa Andhakara Nivaraka Imam Mayaktam Pujang Grihaste Jo Pravardhaya Om Deepaya Namaha. Join in the recital of the Ved mantras now. Om 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 Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Dhyan Moolam Gurur Murti Puja Moolam Guru Padam Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. Om Swastina Indro Vidashrava Swastina Pusha Vishwaveda Swastina Starik Shurarishti Nemi Swastino Brihaspatir Dadhatu Om Payah Prithivyam Payah Oshadhishu Payo Divyantarikshe Payodhaha Payaswati Pradishaha Santu Mashyam. Om Vishnoratamasi Vishnu Shnaptrestho Vishnu Syurasi Vishnu Dhruvasi Vaishnavamasi Vishnavetva. Om Agnir Devata Vato Devata Suryo Devata Chandrama Devata Vasavo Devata Rudra Devata Ditya Devata Maruto Devata Vishwe Deva Devata Brihaspatir Devatendra Devata Varuno Devata. Om Tyoho Shantirantariksha Gung Shanti Prithivi Shantir Apah Shantir Oshadhayah Shanti Vanaspatayah Shantir Vishvedevah Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagung Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi. Om Vishwani Dev Savitar Duritani Parasuva Tadbhadrang Tanna Asuva Sushantir Bhavatu. ओम आनो भद्रा क्रतवो यन्तु विश्वतो दब्धा स्वपरितास उद्भिदः देवानो यथा सदमिद्वृधे असन्न प्रायुवो रक्षितारो दिवे दिवे ओम देवानां भद्र सुमतिर्यजूयतां देवान् गुङ्रातिरभिनो निवर्तताम् देवानां वं सख्यम् उपसेदिमा वयं देवान् आयुः प्रतिरन्तु जीवसे ओम तान् पूर्वया निविदाहुमहे वयम् अगं मित्रम् अदितिं दक्षमस्त्रिधम् अर्यमनं वरुणग्वं सोममश्विना सरस्वती नः सुभगामयस्करत् ओम तन्नो वातो मयो भुवातु भेषजं तन्माता पृथिवी तत्पिता द्योः तद्ग्रावाणः सोमसुतो मयो भुवस्तदश्विना कृणुतन् धिष्ण्यायुवम् ओम तमीशानं जगतस्तस्तु शस्पतिं धियन् जिन्वमवसे हूमहे वयम् पूषानो यथा वेद सामसग्निदे रक्षिता पायुर्दब्धः स्वस्तये ओम स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृदश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्योररिष्टिनीः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम पृषदश्वा मरुतः पृश्निमातर शुभं यावानो विदथेषु जग्मयः अग्निजिह्वा मनवः सूरचक्षसो विश्वेनो देवा अवसागमन्निः ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देव भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजत्रः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वा वंशस्तनुभिर्व्यशेमहि देवहितं यदायुः ओम शतमिन्नु शरदो अन्तिदेवा यत्रानश्चक्राजर सन्तनूनां पुत्रासो यत्र पितरो भवन्ति मानो मद्यारीरिषितार्युर्गन्तोः ओम अदितिर्द्योर अदितिरन्तरिक्षम अदितिर्माता स पिता स पुत्रः विश्वे देवा अदितिः पंचजना अदितिर्जातम् अदितिर्जनित्वम् ओम ऋचं वाचं प्रपद्ये मनो यजुः प्रपद्ये साम प्राणं प्रपद्ये चक्षुः श्रोत्रं प्रपद्ये वागोजः सहोजो मयि प्राणपानौ ओम तं पत्नीभिर् अनुगच्छेम देवः पुत्रैर्भ्रातृभिर् उत वा हिरण्यः नाकङ्गृभनानः सुकृतस्य लोके तृतीये पृष्ठे अधिरोचने दिवः ओम आयुष्यं वर्चस्य ग्वंरायस्पोषमुद्भिदम् इदग्वं हिरण्यं वर्चस्व जैत्राय विशताद्दुमाम् ओम द्योः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगुं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तिर् आपः शान्तिर् औषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर् विश्वे देवः शान्तिर् ब्रह्म शान्ति सर्वगुण शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि ओम यतो यतः समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु शन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयन्न पशुभ्यः ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः सुशान्तिर्भवतु ओम हे हे रंब तमे हि अंबिका त्र्यंबकात्मज सिद्धि बुद्धि पतित्रक्ष लक्ष्य लाभ पितुः पितः नागास्य नागहारत्वं गणराजा चतुर्भुज भूषितः स्वायुधे दिव्ये पाशाङ्कुश परश्वधः आवाहयामि पूजार्थं रक्षार्थं च मम कृतः इहागत्य गृहान् त्वं पूजां कर्तुं च रक्ष मे ओम मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं चितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयुतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये अंजनीगर्भसम्भूतं कपीन्द्रं सच्चिवोत्तमं रामप्रियं नमस्तुभ्यं हनुमान रक्ष सर्वदा ओम ध्यायेदाजानुबाहुं धृतशरधनुषं बद्धपद्मासनस्थं पीतं वासुवसानं नवकमलदलस्पर्धिनेत्रं प्रसन्नं वामांकारूढ़ सीतामुख कमल नीललोचन नीरदाभम नाना अलंकार दीप्तम ददत गुरुचच मंडलम रामचंद्रम। ओम यम ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमन मरुत स्तुनुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थितच्चेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यशान्तं न विदुसुरासुरगण देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं अंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ओम शान्तं पद्मासनस्थं शशधरमुकुटं पंचवक्त्रं त्रिनेत्रं शूलं वज्रं च खड्गं परुषम् अभयदं दक्षिणाङ्गे वहन्तं नागपाशं च घण्टां डमरुकसहितम् अंकुशं वामभागे नाना अलंकार दीप्तं स्फटिकमणिनिभं पार्वतीशं नमामि। ओम या पुण्डेन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदंड मंडितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्मा अच्युत शंकर प्रभृतिभिर देवै सदा वंदिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेष जाड्यापः। ओम लक्ष्मी क्षीर समुद्र राजतनयां श्रीरंगधामेश्वरी दासी भूत समस्त देव वनितां लोकैक दीपांकुरां श्रीमन्मंद कटाक्ष लब्ध विभव ब्रह्मेन्द्र गंगाधरां तांत्रे लोक कुटुंबिनीं सरसिजां वंदे मुकुंद प्रियां। ओम सीताराम पवन सुत हनुमान राधे कृष्ण की जय।
नीलाम्बुज श्यामल कोमलिङ्गम् सीता समारोपिति वामभागम् पानो महासायक चारुचापम् नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। श्री रघुवीर भक्त हितकारी सुनीजय प्रभु अर्ज हमारी। निश दिन ध्यान धरे जो कोई तासम भक्त और नहीं होई। ध्यान धरे शिव जी मन माही ब्रह्मा इंद्र पार नहीं पाई। जय 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 रघुनाथ कृपाला सदा करो संतन प्रतिपाला। दूत तुम्हारी वीर हनुमाना जासु प्रभव तिहु पुर जाना। तब भुज दंड प्रचंड कृपाला रावण मारी सुरन प्रतिपाला। तुम अनाथ के नाथ बसाई दीनन के हो सदा सहाय। ब्रह्मा दुख तब पार न पावे सदा ईश तुमरो यश गावे। चारों वेद भरत है साखी तुम भक्तन की लज्जा राखी। गुण गावत शारद मन माही सुरपति ताको पार न पाई। नाम तुम्हार लेत जो कोई तासम धन्य और नहीं होई। राम नाम है अपरंपारा, चारु वेद जहीं पुकारा। गणपति नाम तुम्हारो लीनो, तिनको प्रथम पूज तुम कीनो। शेष रटत नित नाम तुम्हारा, माही को बार शीश पर धारा। फूल समान रहत शोभारा, पवनों को तुम्हारो पारा। भरत नाम तुम्हरो उर्धाओ, तासो कबहु नरन में हारो। नाम शत्रुघ्न हृदय प्रकाशा, सुमिरत होत शत्रु कर नाशा। लक्ष्मण तुम्हारे आज्ञाकारी, सदा करत संतन रखवारी। ताते रणजीते नहीं कोई, युद्ध जुड़े यमहू की होई। महालक्ष्मी घर अवतारा, सब विधि करत पाप को चारा। सीता नाम पुनीता गायो, भुवनेश्वरी भाई प्रभव दिखायो। खट सो प्रकट भये सो आई, जाको देखत चंद्र लजाई। सो तुम्हरे नित पाव पलो तत, नवनिधि चरण में लो तत। सिद्धि अतारा मंगलकारी, सो तुम पार जवे बलिहारी। और जो अनेक प्रभुतारी, सो सीतापति तुम ही बनाई। इच्छा ते को तिन संसारा, रचित न लागत फल की वारा। जो तुम्हरे चरणन चित लावे, ताको मुक्ति अवश्य हो जावे। जय 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 प्रभु ज्योत स्वरूपा, निर्गुण ब्रह्म अखंड अरूपा। सत्य 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 व्रत स्वामी, सत्य सनातन अंतर्यामी। सत्य भजन तुम्हरो जो गावे, सो निश्चय चरणों फल पावे। सत्य शपथ गौरी पत कीन्ही, तुमने भक्तिन सब सिद्धि दीनी। सुनहु राम तुम तात हमारे, तुम ही भरत कुल पूज्य प्रचारे। तुम ही देव कुल देव हमारे, तुम गुरुदेव प्राण के प्यारे। जो कुछ हो सो तुम ही राजा, जय 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 प्रभु राखो राजा। राम आत्मा पोषण हारे, जय 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 दशरथ के दुलारे। ज्ञान हृदय दो ज्ञान स्वरूपा, नमो नमो जय जगपति भूपा। धन्य धन्य तुम धन्य प्रतापा, नाम तुम्हार हरत संतापा। सत्य शुद्ध देवन मुख गाया, बजि दुंदुभि शंख बजाया। सत्य 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 तुम, सत्य सनातन, तुम ही हो हमारे तन मन धन। या को पाठ करे जो कोई, ज्ञान प्रकटता के पुर होई। अवकामम मीटे केरा, सत्य वचन माने शिव मेरा। और आस मन में जो होई, मन वंचित फल पावे सोई। तीनों काल ध्यान जो लावे, तुलसी दल और फूल चढ़ावे। साग पत्र सो भोग लगावे, सो नर सकल सीता पावे। अंत समय रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। श्री हरिदास करे और गावे, सो वैकुंठ धाम को जावे। 7 दिवस जो नीम कर, पाठ करे चित लाए। हरिदास हरि कृपा से, अवश्य भक्ति को पाए। राम चालीसा जो पढ़े, राम चरण चित लाए। जो इच्छा मन में करे, सकल सिद्धि हो जाए। सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा। अवध में राम आए हैं, सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा। अवध में राम आए हैं, अवध में राम आए हैं। मेरे सरकार आए हैं, मेरे सरकार आए हैं। मेरे सरकार आए हैं, मेरे सरकार बिछा दो अपनी पलकों को, बिछा दो अपनी पलकों को, अवध में राम आए हैं।
सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, मेरे सरकार आए।
तुम आकर फिर नहीं जाना मेरे इस सोनी दुनिया से।
तुम आकर फिर नहीं जाना मेरी इस सूनी दुनिया से।
तुम आकर फिर नहीं जाना मेरे इस सोनी दुनिया से।
तुम आकर फिर नहीं जाना मेरी इस सूनी दुनिया से।
मेरे इस सोनी दुनिया से कहूँ हरदम यही सबसे, कहूँ हरदम यही सबसे, मेरे सरकार आए हैं।
सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, मेरे सरकार आए।
मेरे सरकार आए हैं, मेरे सरकार आए हैं। मेरे सरकार आए हैं। लगे कुटिया भी दुल्हन सी, लगे कुटिया भी दुल्हन सी, अवध में राम आए हैं।
सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, मेरे सरकार आए।
मेरे सरकार आए हैं।
मेरे सरकार आए।
Jai Shri Krishna. Today we are reading chapter 3, verse number 41. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Tasmat tvam indriyan yado niyamya bharatarshapah papmanam prajahi yenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Again, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Tasmat tvam indriyan yado niyamya bharatarshapha papmanam prajahi yenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So the previous verse talked about lust and desire. And Bhagwan is continuing with that here. Tasmat. Therefore, Indriyani Ado. Indriyani means the Indriya, the senses. Ado, from the beginning. Niyamya. Niyamya, usko apne kabu mein rakho. Bring it under your control. Who is he talking to? Bharatarshava, to Arjun. Why must we bring it under control? Papmanam. Papmanam, it is the cause of all sin. And what does it do? Jnana Vijnana Nashanam. Nashanam means to destroy. Jnana Vijnana, Jnana is knowledge and realization. So, भगवान यहाँ कहते हैं कि इसीलिए आरंभ से पहले से ही इंद्रियों को वश में करके और इस काम जो पाप रूप में है उसको मार डालो, क्योंकि काम ज्ञान को नाश करता है. So, therefore, he says, having first organized the senses or controlled the senses, niyamya, control it, or organize it, right? Or regulate the senses. Kam ko maar dalo, kill the lust, kill this desire, which is the destroyer of knowledge. It is the sinful activities which arise from lust. And it is the destroyer of knowledge and realization. ज्ञान और विज्ञान का नाश करते हैं, इसीलिए वो पाप रूपी है. So, Bhagwan Krishna is saying very, very clearly, straight. You know, they say you straight talk. He's talking very straightforward here. And he says, in no uncertain terms, he's telling us, control the senses from the beginning. Regulate the senses so that the sinful enemy of desire or lust can be nullified. It will have no effect on us. So how do you control the senses? So to control the senses, to bring them under control, to organize the senses, we need to have certain rules and regulations. And scriptures provide us with many of these rules and regulations. For example, it says you must observe brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, especially for students, but also for all of us. So there must be no wild expression of our sex organs. We must control that. So as a student, there must be no sexual activity, brahmacharya. As a married person, this is only restricted to the marriage partners for the purpose of procreation. So these are rules that have been laid down by our scriptures. Okay? And what do these rules do? This discipline, they help us to organize the senses. इंद्रियों को वश में करना हमारे सहायता देते हैं. It helps us to control the senses. So, to control the senses is always very difficult. Initially, it's very, very difficult, right? But as we continue practicing it, it becomes habit. And it's no more difficult. Okay? So, sometimes we want to satisfy the sense of taste and eat certain foods. But when we realize that those particular foods are causing a serious illness, then we avoid those foods. difficult. Every time you see that particular food, you begin to salivate and want to eat it. But so it is difficult to avoid it, but you stick to that task. And over time, even when you see the food, it does not attract you anymore. So that it becomes easier as you start practicing it. The longer you practice it, the easier it is to bring the senses under control. But when should we start? It says from the beginning. Ado. Ado means from the beginning. Now, earlier on, we heard that all the living entities are parts of the Supreme Lord. They are part of Bhagavan. Therefore, all of us originally had this natural love for the Lord. And love for the Lord has certain qualities. Love has certain qualities. It is not about getting. It is not about give and take. It is just about giving. True love is only about giving. It does not involve envy, does not involve jealousy, it does not involve competition, and it is not always pleasant. To express true love is quite often very difficult. If I take everyday examples, quite often you may not like a certain habit of your husband or your wife, but it is almost impossible to change. So you put up with it. It's not easy, but you put up with it. Why do you put up with it? Because love is the basis of that. Okay? So it is not always pleasant, but it is stronger than all of these difficulties. Right? So when there is envy, jealousy, competition, give and take, then it isn't true love. So we shouldn't be, for example, saying, yesterday we went to your mother's house, and now today we must go to my mother's house. That shouldn't be the case. There's no harm in going to both parents' home, but it shouldn't be like, because we went there, now we must go an equal number of times to my mother's place. That is not an expression of love. There's no competition in this. Okay? So love does not change. It is always pure and true. Our love for Bhagavan too must be like that. So it is difficult, but it has to be pure. Once this pure and original love deteriorates to lust, now this is where this love is linked to today's verse. When that love deteriorates to lust for sense gratification, then it is very difficult to correct it. Okay? So sense gratification is completely different from love. Therefore, Bhagavan says, from the beginning, we must bring this sense gratification under control so that our love does not get converted to lust. We should rather convert the lust, from lust, move towards love. Right? So from childhood, we need to start teaching this. The role of parents is very important. You know, every little thing that the child wants, we shouldn't just give it. We need to teach the child discipline. This is good for you, therefore you may have it. This is not good for you, you must avoid it. This is the discipline. From the beginning, we must teach them. You cannot tell the child who you have been allowing to watch videos on YouTube from the time he's 4 years old till he's 15, and then you tell him now at 15, you mustn't do all of this, you must study. He's going to find it very difficult to get out of that habit. So we need to monitor and control for our children, help them to control this, so that once the control sets in their own habits, that habit becomes a good habit. They do not go and do the wrong things again. So parents have a very important role to play. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to change. So this desire, this lust is, similar to, if you look at in a mountain range, there are many underground streams or currents which do not come out all over, but they find a common outlet. So a spring comes up where many underground streams feed that spring, and the water comes out from that spring. So all these desires are like these currents of water, various desires that we have to eat something, to drink certain things that are good, to play certain games, whatever desires there are, right? So all of them are like these currents of water which are underground. They are all there. They will always be there. But if we control the outlet, that spring, if we control that outlet, then we may be able to use the entire outflow from all of these desires for our spiritual benefit. If we do not control that outflow, if we do not organize our senses, then we cannot make the best use of all these underlying currents of desire. The desire will always be there, but we need to regulate the outlet. So the desire, for example, to eat certain foods will always be there. A person who likes to eat cheese or butter or kheer, he'll always like it. But if he controls the outlet and he has the kheer as prasad and doesn't overeat, then he's controlling that outlet. That expression of that desire is under control. And if it is under control, it will not cause harm to the body. Okay, so this is what this verse is telling us, that पहले से ही, from the beginning, इंद्रियों को अपने वश में करो, नहीं तो, if not, ज्ञान और विज्ञान का नाश हो जाएगा. Our knowledge and our realization will be destroyed. Jai Shri Krishna.
जय श्री राम. अब हम रामायण स्तुति गाएंगे. We will now recite the Ramayana स्तुति. जेहि सुमिरत सिद्धि होय सीताराम गणनायक करिवर बदन करो अनुग्रह सोय सीताराम बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सदना मूक होहि वाचाल सीताराम पंगु चढ़हि गिरिवर गहना जासु कृपा सुदयालु सीताराम द्रवहु सकल कलिमल दहना नील सरोरुह श्याम सीताराम तरुण अरुण बारिज नयन करो समम उर्धाम सीताराम सदा क्षीर सागर शयना कुंद इंदु समदेह सीताराम उमा रमन करुणा अयन जाहि दीन परनेह सीताराम करहो कृपा मर्दन मयन बंदो गुरुपद कंज सीताराम कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोहतम पुंज सीताराम जासु वचन रवि कर निकर सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। कथा आरंभ होता है, सुनो वीर हनुमान, आसन को प्रभु आइए, सिया सखा सहित भगवान, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। अस कही गए नरेश पद, स्वामी हो कृपाल, मोहि लागी दुख सहिया, प्रभु सज्जन दीन दयाल, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम। जानि नृपहिया पन आधीना, बोला तापस कपट प्रभीना, सत्य कहु भूपति सुनु तोहि, जगनाहिन दुर्लभ कछु मोहि। राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम। अवसी काज मैं करे हो तोरा, मन तन बचन बघत ते मोरा। जोग जुगुति तप मंत्र प्रबाहु, पलहि तबहि जब करिय दुराहु। राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम। जो नरेश में करो रसोई, तुम परहु साहु मोहि जान न कोही। अन्न सो जोही भोजन करही, सोही तब आयसु अनुसरही। राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम। पुनि तिन्ह के गृह जयवहि जोहु, तब बस होई भूप सुनु सोहु। जाहि उपाय रचहु नृप एहु, संबत भरी संकल्प करेहु। राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम। नित नूतन द्विज सहस सत, बरेहु सहित परिवार। मैं तुम्हारे संकल्प लगी, दीनहि कर भी जेवनार। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। Jai Shri Ram. So we are continuing this katha, where this previously ordinarily righteous king called Pratapa Bhanu was being swayed and captured, if I can use that word, by Kapati Muni, a Kapat Muni, a person who was a fake saint. He wanted to win over this king and contribute to his doom because he wanted revenge. And so the discussion is going on between them, and we are watching how this Kapat Muni, this fake personality, is slowly but surely getting under the skin and capturing the mind of this king. And let us look at how this process is taking place. ऐसा कहकर राजा ने मुनि के चरण पकड़ लिए. So the king now, being overcome by the words and the behavior of this Kapat Muni, he wants to convince this fake Muni to now assist him. And what is he striving for? He wants to rule for many rounds of creation. Other texts tell us that his request was that he wanted to rule the earth for many rounds of creation. He wanted to be undefeatable. He wanted to have many, many supporters, etc. And this Kapat Muni is saying to him, convincing him that, well, I am so powerful, so learned, so saintly, I can certainly grant you. I can certainly make this a possibility. So hearing to all of this, the king now clasps the feet of this Kapat Muni. You see, when a ordinary person, ordinary human being wants to get the mercy of a saint, he goes and falls at his feet and he begs for mercy. Similarly, this king goes and holds the feet of the Kapat Muni and he says, "Hey Swami," he now addresses this Muni, so-called Muni, as, "O Lord, Kripa kijiye, please have mercy on me. Aap sant hai, you are a saint. Aap Deena Dayalu hai, you are all merciful. Hey Prabhu, O Lord, mere liye itna kasht sahiye. For my sake, please take some, go out of your comfort zone, do something extra to assist me for my sake." Why? Because I am your devotee, I'm fully surrendered to you, I have faith in you, etc. Therefore, please do something extra and assist me. राजा को अपने अधीन जानकर कपट में प्रवीण तपस्वी बोला. Now this Muni, listening to the words and the fact that the king has now held his feet. See, holding the feet or bowing down to the feet of somebody is a symbol of ultimate surrender, complete surrender. And now this Kapat Muni, when he sees this king bowing down at his feet, he realized that now I have him exactly where I want him. And this Muni now, who was very, very clever at deception, he was very, very clever at putting up a fake performance. He now starts to speak. He says, "Hey Rajan, O king, suno, main tumse satya kahta hu." He says, everything I told you is the truth. Sometimes we engaged in a conversation with somebody, just an ordinary conversation, and over again, they'll say to you, "I won't lie to you. This is the truth." And they swear on any number of people that they are speaking the truth. And this is the kind of example that we are seeing here. If somebody is speaking the truth, I'm not sure whether we really need to convince somebody that we are speaking the truth. Our actions should be speaking for themselves. But in this case, we see that the Kapat Muni is trying to be persuasive. He's trying to show that he's speaking the truth. Jagat mein mujhe kuch bhi durlabh nahi hai. He says, in this world here, nothing is difficult for me. I will be able to achieve what you want me to achieve. Main tumhara kaam avashya karunga. I will most certainly do this work for you. See, whenever we do prayers, whenever we do any kind of pious act, we chant a sankalp. Sankalp means a declaration. And we normally take water in our hands and we start off the sankalp by saying, Om Hari Om Tat Sat Namaha Paramatmane. What are we doing? We are immediately putting the success of what we are setting out to do in the hands of the Creator. We are saying Hari Om Tat Sat. There is only one truth, which is Shri Hari. Namaha Paramatmane. You are the Supreme Personality. Whatever I am setting out to do, I know I will only achieve with your blessing, with your grace. Now look at this Kapat Muni. He's got a very, very, a sankalp that's full of ego. He says, I will most certainly accomplish your task. I will most certainly do it. तुम मन वाणी और शरीर से मेरे भक्त हो. You are my devotee in man, mind, vani in speech, and in action with your body. In all three ways, you are my devotee. Therefore, पर योग युक्त तप और मंत्रों का प्रभाव तभी फलीभूत होता है जब में छिपाकर किए जाते हैं. So now he says, listen, I will certainly achieve what you want me to do because you love me so much, you have put faith in me. And how will I do this? With tap, with penance, mantra, and yoga, spiritual practices and exercises. In other words, all kinds of various ways, I will use my spiritual power to do what? To accomplish the task that you want me to, but under one condition. It must be a secret. See, this is where the problem comes up. If somebody is praying for something good, why do they have to hide and do it? We are not saying that we need to publicize things every time we pray, but why such terrible or such stringent security? And this should obviously make people suspicious. He says it must be kept in secret. Hey Narapati, O Lord of all men, he's addressing the king, मैं यदि रसोई बनाऊं और तुम उससे परोसो और मुझे कोई जानने न पावे, I will cook the food. So the Kapat Muni, this fake Muni, says he's going to cook the food, but nobody must know who is cooking the food. तो उस अन्न को जो जो खाया सो सो तुम्हारा आज्ञाकारी बन जाएगा. Every person who eats this food, as more and more people eat this food, every one of them will come under your control, and thus you will become the sovereign ruler of all people. यही नहीं, उन भोजन करने वालों के घर भी जो कोई भोजन करेगा, हे राजन सुनो, वह भी तुम्हारे अधीन हो जाएगा. He says not only the people who come here and you feed, all those people who come here and eat, whoever they feed in their homes, they too will come under your control. What magic he is he's seemingly exhibiting here that he can perform. He says, हे राजन जाकर यही उपाय करो और वर्ष भर का संकल्प कर लेना. He says, let's go and implement this plan of ours. You do a sankalp now that you are going to feed Brahmins for a whole year. And within that year, you will feed so many people and they will all come under your control. Nitya naya ekalaka brahmano ko kutumba sahit nimantrit karna. He says, what you must do every day, you must invite a new large number of Brahmins together with their families. You must invite them so that they can come and eat. मैं तुम्हारे संकल्प तक प्रतिदिन भोजन बना दिया करूंगा, and what I will do every day, I will cook the food. So let us look at some of the messages that we get from here. The first thing is that yoga, penance, and mantras that are used in secret to cause harm to others, to pious people, we must know that according to the law of nature, any kind of such efforts will backfire. Because remember, pious people who are doing puja, who are living pure lives, they are protected by the Lord himself. They create an aura, a kavach around themselves. And if you send anything negative to them, it's going to bounce back really fast. And those that resort to things like this, kapat tapasvi, are the vilest of people, because you are using something that is so special in this world for the wrong reasons. In other words, you are misusing it. You are abusing it. What kind of person takes something that is pure and good, that is good for the benefit of society and starts using it for the wrong reasons. This is the height of corruption. In fact, people who have such intentions should not even bother trying these things, because it will bring them more harm and they will end up in a worse situation than where they started. So during my lifetime, I have also come across people who are very, very particular about where they eat food and who cooks their food. Some of them have been really, really fussy. And sometimes I've heard comments like, why is this person so picky about who touches their food, who cooks their food, where they eat, etc. I know once a Brahmin in India, when he was offered Brahman Bhojan, he says, I will only eat the food out of a banana leaf. I won't eat out of a normal thari because I'm not sure where that thari has been. I remember my grandmother, my nani, telling me that when she visited her family home in India years ago, only ladies were permitted in the kitchen. And that too, they had to take a bath before they entered, and no shoes were allowed in the kitchen. So while these things may sound absurd in today's world, we are coming to realize from our texts that the preparation of food is something that we should look more carefully at. Food, even more especially food that is being prepared for puja, for yajna, for Brahman bhojan, should be performed by trustworthy people, by the close members of the family who observe the highest levels of etiquette and hygiene, because food that is prepared for puja and for Brahman bhojan must first be offered to God. Then it becomes prasad. We must therefore make every effort to ensure that the food is kept as pure as possible. Food, once it enters the body, becomes energy. And if we want the best energy to pervade the body, we need to put the right kinds of food in our body. Even the mind and emotion of the cooks are important. Energy is transferable. Angry people should not be cooking food. Angry people should settle down before they prepare food, for their anger may now enter others. Those people that have been eating non-veg food prior to a prayer should be avoided. They should not come and prepare the food unless they have observed a fair amount of period of vegetarianism. In this way, the ill effects of serving contaminated food at a Brahman bhojan can be avoided. Brahman bhojan must not be avoided. We should not say, well, I don't have the energy to prepare food, I don't have the means, therefore I won't do Brahman bhojan. I think that would be losing a great opportunity, because our texts speak the greatness of feeding Brahmins. In fact, no pilgrimage is complete if Brahman bhojan has not been done. No shrad is complete if Brahman bhojan has not been done. It is a highly pious act and must not be avoided. However, effort must be made to accomplish it in some way or the other. And perhaps in South Africa, if we cannot do this in our homes as often as we like, at least donate to a temple where Brahmins are being fed, because there is great benefit in performing this pious act. Jai Shri Ram. Katha visarjan hota hai, suno veer Hanuman, आसन को प्रभु जाइए, सिया सखा सहित भगवान, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय. जय श्री राम.
नगरी हो अयोध्या सी, रघुकुल सघराना लक्ष्मण सा भाई हो, कौशल्या माई हो, स्वामी तुम जैसा मेरा रघुराई हो, स्वामी तुम जैसा मेरा रघुराई हो। हो त्याग भरत जैसा, सीता से नारी हो, लव कुश की जैसी संतान हमारी हो, लव कुश के जैसी संतान हमारी हो। श्रद्धा हो श्रवण जैसी, शबरी सी भाती हो, हनुमत के जैसे निष्ठा और शक्ति हो, हनुमत के जैसे निष्ठा और शक्ति हो। मेरे जीवन नैया हो, प्रभु राम की वैया हो, राम कृपा की सदा मेरी सर पर छैया हो, राम कृपा की सदा मेरी सिर पर छैया हो। सरयू का किनारा हो, निर्मल जलधारा हो, दर्श मुझे भगवन जिस घड़ी तुम्हारा हो, दर्श मुझे भगवन जिस घड़ी तुम्हारा हो। नगरी हो अयोध्या सी, रघुकुल सघराना हो, चरण हो राघव के जहाँ मेरा ठिकाना हो, चरण हो राघव के जहाँ मेरा ठिकाना हो, चरण हो राघव के जहाँ मेरा ठिकाना हो। देख लो मेरे दिल की नगीने में, हे विभीषण देख लो मेरे दिल की नगीने में, श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने 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 में। देख लो मेरे दिल की नगीने में, देख लो मेरे दिल की नगीने में, श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने में। श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने में। श्री राम मुझको कीर्ति न वैभव न यश चाहिए, राम के नाम का मुझको रस चाहिए। मुझको कीर्ति न वैभव न यश चाहिए, राम के नाम का मुझको रस चाहिए। मुझको कीर्ति न वैभव न यश चाहिए, राम के नाम का मुझको रस चाहिए। सुख मिले ऐसी अमृत को पीने में। सुख मिले ऐसी अमृत को पीने में। श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने में। श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने में। मेरी राम सच्चा आनंद है ऐसे जीने में। सच्चा आनंद है ऐसे जीने में। श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने में। श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने में। मेरी राम सीना है सबको ये दिखला दिया। भक्ति में है मस्ती बेदरक दिखला दिया। सीना है सबको ये दिखला दिया। भक्ति में मस्ती है बेदरक दिखला दिया। हर सीना है सबको ये दिखला दिया। भक्ति में है मस्ती बेधड़क दिखला दिया। कोई मस्ती ना सागर और मीने में। कोई मस्ती ना सागर और मीने में। श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने 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 में। देख लो मेरे दिल की लिख लो मेरे मन की नगीने में श्री राम जानकी बैठे हैं मेरे सीने 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 में।
ॐ कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णुः, मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज, मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष, मङ्गलाय तनोहरि। सर्वमङ्गलमङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके, शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते, नारायणी नमोस्तुते, नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ओम यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। ओम सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम अपराध सहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया, दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। आवाहनं न जानामि, न जानामि विसर्जनं, पूजां चैव न जानामि, क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति, त्वमेव शरणं मम, तस्मत्कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष त्वं परमेश्वर। भूल्य विघ्नहर्ता गणेश भगवान की जय। जगत जननी पार्वती माता की जय। शिव शंकर भगवान की जय। सीतारामचंद्र भगवान की जय। लक्ष्मण जी की जय। महावीर स्वामी बजरंग बली की जय। श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय। श्री बाल कृष्ण भगवान की जय। गंगा यमुना सरयू सरस्वती मैया की जय। श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। ओम नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव हर। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे श्याम।